Well, hello, everybody, and thanks so much for tuning in. This is a must-see TV right here. This is going to be, for me, it's kind of a revelation. And, yeah, we want to talk about TERGIKLEEN, right? What is this stuff? Is it any good? What does it do? Just back up a tad here, and we'll talk about my journey in record cleaning. It won't be too long. Just to get to the juicy stuff, right? With the TERGIKLEEN, it's great stuff. Just put it right there, right off the bat. But I wanted to talk about probably about 10 years ago, when I first started my YouTube channel. A couple gentlemen, they kind of put me to task because they said, "Ron, what do you've got that cheesy little spin clean. You're not going to notice any difference. You've got all these boutique pressings, you've got all these audiophile records and such, and you're just using the spin clean. You need to get a vacuum cleaning machine. You're going to be amazed how much better your records are going to sound." So I'm like, okay. They threw the gauntlet down. I'm ready to go. I went and got me a Record Doctor 5, and I cleaned my records, and they were right. What a difference. The records sounded better. They did, with the vacuuming. And then I'm using the spin clean, and I'm using because at first I was using the soap that came with the spin clean, and my records were noisier. So I just went to the water, and then the records were better. And at that point, I was still hand drying them with the towel that they provided. And then when I went to the vacuum, it was getting all the soap off the record. So that was better, okay? And then I found out about that iFitol, which is like a photo flow thing, makes water wetter, breaks the surface tension. And that again was an improvement. I heard they sounded better with that than without. Because for the most part, I'm just using the soap that the spin clean had, or I'm using just water. And when I use this, yeah, the record sounded better. So I've been promoting this for a long time. And then I saw here the other day, the same fellow that recommended, Patrick, the vinyl archivist, he's one who recommended this to me. And then now I've seen he's using this product. And so I said, well, he had a few folks on his program, and they were all talking about how great it was, how they was cleaning their records so much better. So I said, well, I need to get some. It's not that expensive. It's like $25, $30, whatever. I bought it off Amazon. And I first started comparing, the records cleaned with the iFitol to the record cleaned with the TERGIKLEEN. So I had a bunch of records that were cleaned with iFitol, and I would just re-clean them again with the TERGIKLEEN. And I'm listening, but once you do that process, there's no going back and listening again, like you do when you're comparing record pressings, right? You go back and forth. Well, once you've done that, there's no way to go back and say, what did it sound like again? So I talked to a friend of mine, Simon Black, and he said, if you got a record, that's the same record, right? You can clean that one, and then with iFitol and one with TERGIKLEEN, then you can go back and forth. And I said, well, there's a lot of merit to that idea. And I have a couple of those, but that's a sealed record and this and that. I really don't want to go down that road. I said, you know what I need to do? I just bought a bunch of records, and like 5 of them are 2 LPs. So I'll clean one with the TERGIKLEEN, and I'll clean the other record with the iFitol. It's a 2 LP, so one of each, right? And kind of get an idea and see if I can hear anything. So another little point is, ever since, it's been a couple years now, ever since I got my cartridge re-tipped with the micro line, I was using a different stylus profile before, the elliptical, which is not quite as micro line as the micro line, obviously. So I'm getting deeper in the groove with that. And I've noticed, and I've said it in a few of my recent videos, you really have to have exquisitely clean records because it's prone to mistracking on my stereo. I can hear it. I can hear it. And, kind of like things are tearing, or when you get into congested music, it's not as clear as it should be. Those types of things, that's kind of a mistracking number as far as I'm concerned. So it's like I said, when I did the Jethro Tull record, I put it on without cleaning it, and I heard some mistracking. I used my iFitol, right? And I cleaned it with my spin clean in the vacuum, and it took that out of there, and I didn't really hear it anymore. So it cleaned something off the records that was making it mistrack. Now, all the records that I cleaned here, they're all brand new, right? It's not like I'm cleaning a bunch of grunge and a bunch of dirt off the records, whatever. They're all brand new. But it just goes to illustrate how important it is to clean new records. Because in the process of making the record, I don't know what it is, but there's imperfections in the grooves. There's stuff in there. Whatever it is, I don't know because I'm not a scientist, right? I'm not a record scientist. Maybe we need to talk to someone that is about what's actually going on. Why, when you clean the record, why does it sound better after it's like a brand new record, right? Okay, so now I cleaned one with the iFitol, one with the TERGIKLEEN. I put the record on, and I'm still hearing some of that high-end, some of that mistracking, high-end stuff. Kind of the congestion when you get a complex music passage, when there's a lot of stuff going on, it's kind of congested. It's not as clear as I know it can be. Let's just put it that way. So then I go and I listen to the TERGIKLEEN. And before, when I was just comparing the record that I cleaned with TERGIKLEEN and then re-cleaning it, I had it cleaned with the iFitol and then I re-cleaned it with the TERGIKLEEN. I thought I was hearing an improvement in clarity in the record. I thought I was. But how do you go back and check it again, right? So there's something that been repeating now lately in a lot of my videos, is something that Kevin Gray said in one of his interviews, is that the more you listen, the more apparent the differences become. And then once you hear it, there's no going back. Now you know what it is. And it makes, usually a lot of times it's a big difference. But you don't hear it at first. It takes more listening to get to understand what's going on. So now I've listened to the record, one side of the record, or one of the two LPs is with this. And then I'm still hearing some issues. But it sounds really good. It sounds a lot better than without, because I played it first time without it. And I said, man, I really need to clean this record because I don't really like the way it sounds. I got to get rid of that mistracking, kind of that high end. Something's irritating there for me. And then I listened to the TERGIKLEEN. I don't know what's in this stuff. I think it must be called pixie dust. This stuff's like magic. It's like a magic eraser in a bottle. The records sound infinitely better. It got to be like when I got to the third, because there was 5 altogether. I did 5 of them. When it got to the third record, I listened to about 20 seconds of it, and I said, no way, I got to put the TERGIKLEEN one on, and boom, so much quieter. And when I was listening to I shouldn't say quieter, because the background noises and those types of things, it's about the same. It's not really making the record quieter, but when I was listening to the second record, I thought to myself, this kind of reminds me of what Last, the record preservative, the vinyl stabilizer. They used to claim that this would stabilize your record, the vinyl. And when you use that Last stuff, it did sound better. I liked the way I would actually be cleaning my records with Last stuff for a long time, and it sounded better. And I was listening to this. When I listened to the record clean with this, I'm thinking, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But it also is a little bit like, you know, when you get a really good power cord for your preamp or something, and you plug it in and the noise floor gets lowered, because that's basically what they're doing. They're getting rid of a lot of the RF and a lot of the stuff that's getting into your power cord, and then you have to listen to that. Because what people don't understand is you're listening to electricity. This is what you're listening to. And the better you can refine that electricity, the better your stereo sounds. So when you get a really good power cord, it lowers that noise floor, and you can hear a little bit more of the macro dynamics and those inner details and those types of things, because the things that are harder, the subtle things that are harder to hear, when you take away the background hash, now you can hear them better. And this thing does a lot more to improve the sound than any power cord I've ever used. It really is phenomenal, the difference that I'm hearing. I'm so happy with this product. This is, I think, the biggest bang for the buck that's made in my whole stereo. Of anything that I've ever done with records. Now, I don't know what would happen if I just used the spin clean in this stuff, but I know that record vacuuming thing really makes a difference. And now this stuff, this TERGIKLEEN, like I say, it must be pixie dust in here. It's like magic. That's what it does. It helps bring out that kind of magic. I mean, I would listen to one song with the isotal, and then I'd take it off right away, and I'd put the TERGIKLEEN, the other record, I'd listen to the whole side. I just couldn't stop listening to it. The music is just so much more beautiful. I think I've got my point across, folks. If you're not using this stuff, yeah, you need to get some, and you need to start using it. I am really, really, really happy with this, and I'm going to re-clean my whole record collection using this stuff. It makes such a big difference. To some point where some of these records, that's like the Just So Tall was the last one that I cleaned. I did side A, I listened to the first song, and I'm taking it off, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, I thought this record sounded good. It's not really, because, you know, it's going to be a digital record, of course. I said, it's not really that good sounding of a record, because, like I say, the music, the complex music passages and his voice and different things, it was kind of veiled. It was kind of muddied up. And then I put the TERGIKLEEN one on, and I'm like, boom. Oh my goodness, this is a great record. What a fantastic sounding record. Yeah, unbelievable how much better it makes. Now, okay, your mileage may vary, because I have a very revealing stereo system. That's one of the things that when I bought the Martin Logan speakers, the guy told me in the shop, he says, these things are very, very revealing. You have to have good equipment, because if you don't, you're going to know it every time. And what's the most important part of your equipment? Yeah, it's the record. This is why I've always been talking about what's the better pressing. Because I can spend, especially nowadays, they're charging so much for records. You know, but you could buy a $20 record or a $30 record, and that $30 record made your stereo sound like it was worth, you know, $10,000 rather than $1,000. The fidelity, you could get more improvement from just spending $10 more on a record than you could from spending $5,000 on an amplifier, because the source is the most important part. If you don't have it, your stereo can't manufacture good sound. It's only going to amplify what's on there. And if you're able to extract the music, which is, you know, a good pickup, a good cartridge, a good turntable, if you're able to extract it off the vinyl, and then you're able to amplify it to a high degree, you're going to hear everything on the record. So the more things that are wrong with those Martin Logans, the more stuff you're going to hear is wrong. And I was never quite happy with the way that microline sounded. I could get it at certain times to sound good, and other times, but now I just can't believe the difference. And we'll leave it at that, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks everybody for sticking around this long. And for everybody that subscribes to my channel, I thank everybody for doing that. It's so wonderful to have subscribers that tune in all the time and they make comments. I really like people making comments in the comment section. And everybody likes to put a little like on there. I've been getting a lot of folks putting the likes on the video, so I appreciate that too. And bye for now.